All right. What's going on, guys? I'm Andy, and welcome to Footy with an Edge. We're here for another call-in show. This is number 2 for us, and we had an amazing call-in show yesterday with 3 folks joining. It was Rishi, Confused View, and Pavan, and we talked a lot about whether Ruben Amorim deserves a shot to stay in the job or he deserves to be sacked. And much to my surprise, we had 3 United fans and myself just being very calm and composed and just discussing how Amorim should be given a chance because there's a lot of mistakes in the boardroom. There's a lot of other things that are going wrong. And it's not, the blame doesn't lie at his feet. Today, we're here to talk about the midfield, right? We've heard from everybody and their mother about how the midfield is the problem, about, Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville, Paul Scholes. All of these guys have been talking about the midfield being the problem. They've been talking about the system being the issue. So I want to hear from you guys about what the actual problem is, right? Is it the midfield? If it is the midfield, what can we do to actually fix it, right? What can Amorim do? What are your thoughts as the experts, the football experts, right? Because every single fan that follows this channel and that follows United is actually very knowledgeable. So I want to hear from you guys and see what your opinions are on how we can fix this mess. Okay, let's get straight into it. All right. I'm gonna pull in. Looks like we have a few people waiting already. By the way, in case you guys are wondering how you can join this call-in show, you can join the Discord link in the description below. And once you join it, join the waiting room channel. You'll see a couple of voice channels on your bottom left. Join the waiting room channel and then enter the call-in show. Okay, I'm gonna get the first guy that's already waiting here. Give me 1 second. Looks like I don't have my headphones today. So I actually need to go get them. I'm so sorry for this. Just keep waiting. Give me 1 second. All right. Here we go. Got my headphones. Classic. Let me just do this super quick. All right. Okay. Pulling in the first caller now. Yeah, I'm losing my edge. Thanks, bro. All right. Hello. Hey, can you hear me? I think if you're calling in from your phone, you might need to turn off your YouTube video, turn off all the other apps, and make sure your microphone is working. Hey, are you there? Can you guys hear me, first of all? Can someone in the chat confirm that you guys can hear me?
Uh, Hello, Andy.
Yes. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, can you introduce yourself? Tell us where you're calling from, and
All right.
and give your views on the topic.
All right. Thank you for having me here, Andy. I am from Andy from South Africa, but currently based in the Emirates.
Very
So I'm a
nice.
United
Very
fan
nice.
for, I don't know, the past 20 years.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I'm a
Super
diehard
cool.
United fan. And it's just full sick to watch football nowadays because, you have to at least watch football having a beer. That's how it feels.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you need something
And
stronger than a
going,
beer too.
well, that's true. So reason why I'm calling is I was watching the show yesterday, but
Mhm.
I have been watching you for the past, I don't 2020, 2022. I think that's
Mhm.
where I started to see your analysis and, well, I did like the channel. So
Yeah.
yesterday I saw the question that you posed related to if Ruben should be fired,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the calls were really positive coming from Richie, I think,
Mm-hmm.
from India.
Yes.
But now the problem is how I see things. Uh, the Ineos team had two choices. It's either they go big or they go the other route, which is get young players.
Mm-hmm.
Because if really they had bought like really good strikers and let's say a really good goalkeeper, the City goalkeeper Dumarom, and then we had got like Watkins, that would have been a different story for Ruben. But
Mm-hmm.
since they went with the younger generation, Ruben needs time.
Yeah.
Believe that Ruben needs time to find his system,
Mm-hmm.
um, even the whole season. You know, if we may ask, because we won't get relegated. So since he's building, let's build. Let's stop having high expectations of the Ruben system. And we
Mm-hmm.
United fans, let's stop being negative. Let's give this manager a chance.
Yeah.
And lastly, when it comes to your question, asking
Mm-hmm.
about the midfield, I do not know, what will be the solution. But one thing that I do know is Bruno is not a number 8.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, first of all, Andy, welcome to the show. And it's great to see that we have a global audience, right? You're joining in from South Africa. Obviously, Andy to Andy looks like we think alike, right? There's a lot in common between how we feel about this club, right? So I appreciate your thoughts. I think what your point is that because we didn't purchase like experienced players, we should give him more time because we purchased younger players. We need to give them more time to bed into the system and actually grow into their positions and grow into the league. That's your point, right? So that it's too early to judge Amarim because of that.
That's correct, because
Yeah.
look at Lenny. Lenny is playing, he's really young, but he has grown with the game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at Dogu.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a finished product, but you can see, there is some hunger. He can be better,
Yeah.
especially with the experience of Mbeumo Kune.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe that's one of the reasons why they never sold Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I knew that Bruno was going to be playing a number 8, I would have, be the one of the supporters vouching for him to be sold, because we're not using him to his strength.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you look into most of the games, Bruno cost us most of the game, and not because of, Bruno is a star, but then you're playing him in a wrong position.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I hear your point. I'll say I have some thoughts on Bruno that I've been wanting to get off my chest, and maybe I'll make a video about that this week. Because the midfield is obviously
Right,
a big tactical problem for us in the team, right? Um, First of all, I think most United fans would agree that selling Bruno in the summer was probably the right call. If we were getting 100 million for him, maybe we can put that towards Baleba and have a much better midfield combination, right? But I
right,
think something you said there, I agree with a lot, which is basically if we sell Bruno, he's pretty much the only senior player in the team that someone can look up to, right? You have all these young players playing. Nobody is really performing well every week, right? At least with Bruno, we know what to expect and what he can give. And he's our captain, right? So that's the other question. Once you sell him, who's the captain now? We don't really know
right.
who's going to be there for a long time or who's shown enough to be the captain. People say maybe Delict could be the captain, but
That's right.
is he the best player in the team? Is he going to stay in the team every week in week out? Probably, but again, we don't know if we can make him the long-term captain yet. So there's a few issues with selling Bruno and getting him out of the team. Me personally, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I personally think that Bruno Fernandes as the number 8. So if you want to, I don't know if you can see the screen later on the YouTube video, but
I can see it right
I
now. I just launched
yeah,
the volume.
well, there's a small delay between our chat and the YouTube video, but basically, if you look at Fernandez in the system, right? The problem we're having right now is the players around the midfielders, right? Because there's 10 outfield players on the pitch and we have two midfielders. We need the other 8 to do a good job in their own positions, and they're not doing that right now. We have Ahmad on the wing giving the ball away. We have sometimes Mbumo also giving the ball away. We have Sheshko not really knowing what to do in his position. Because of that, the two midfielders get really, really exposed, right? And my point is that yes, Bruno's not a traditional number 8 or he's not a traditional number 6. He's not very good defensively, but those flaws are getting much more exposed because the rest of the team is also not very good right now. Does that make sense? So I think in an ideal world, if the team is playing better, I think Bruno can actually work in that system, and that's what I think Amorim is thinking. But obviously, right now we're not in an ideal world, and we're still learning the system, and that's why he gets very exposed. And this is similar to how Casemiro was getting exposed under Ten Hag. When we played the 4-2-3-1 and he had Ericsson next to Casemiro in the double pivot, right, the two number sixes, Casemiro had to do the work of 3 players. And that's the same thing that's happening to Casemiro now or Ugarte now, and Bruno's also having to do some of that. Does that make sense to you? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts into this is, you know, yeah, I think you've given me the answer because that is the reason why we need to let Ruben find
Mm-hmm.
his system because we only played 4 games to, find the balance within the middle field because this will give confidence to the rest of the players,
Mm-hmm.
players like Togu, they need to have that confidence. But if the system is broken, a lot of people become exposed. The Maguires, they're not really fast, so they will be exposed. So finding the balance means giving Ruben a little bit of time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. I think it's very important for us to give him time. And yesterday, the things that people said in the call was very illuminating to me as well because if we decide to sack Ruben Amorim right now, right, the second we do it, the next manager is going to come in and he's going to look at this team and he's going to say, I don't want to get sacked just like Amarim did. So I'm going to play counter-attacking football. I'm going to give up the possession. I'm not really going to focus on the system and I'm just going to focus on getting the good vibes back, right? Similar to what Ollie did when he first came, similar to what Eric Ten Hag did in his first season. We're just going to focus on vibes FC and we're going to go back to counter-attacking football. And we're going to get some wins, but then long term we're going to be back to the same position.
Well, that's correct. And for me, again, the Ineos team had promised that they would really support Ruben, which I mean they bought 3 players. But if
Mm-hmm.
you look into it, we sold Rashford, we got rid of Ramos and Anthony Sancho,
Mm-hmm.
but there was no real investment because that same money that was sold for those players. I mean, they just bought 3 players. We still have Maguire, Ugarte. Not,
Yeah.
I mean, we still have a lot of players that
Yeah.
Casemiro. The legs are not
Mm-hmm.
there. So for me, let's give Ruben some time and let's let the Ineos invest. And I do think sometimes Ruben, for him not to win the Europa League or with the Crimson game, is to really expose what's really, the weakness within the team so that,
Mm-hmm.
the board sees for the team for what it is
Yeah.
and they will be able to really invest rather than playing a counter football attack, winning 3 4 games, all everything is nice, but then the future of the club 3 to 4 years, are we still going to have
Yeah.
the same,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Um, your voice cut out, Andy.
full.
Maybe. Yeah. Do you want to repeat the last 10 seconds? And I have a quick question for you before I let you go.
No, no, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So my question for you is, who do you think is the best midfield two, according to you?
Midfield 2, um, um it's very difficult. I'll put Casemiro
Mm-hmm.
and Mainoo.
Casemiro, Mainoo. Okay.
Casemiro and
Awesome.
Mainoo because Ogate. Okay,
Yeah.
even if defensive is not really that good, the guy
Yeah.
really cost us.
Yeah. Yeah.
The play is good, but I think Casemiro's experience is long balls, and Manu being a versatile player. I think for now, they can they can they can play.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I do not know
Sounds good.
what the midfield, even myself. It's a little bit
Yeah.
confusing. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. And
and
what
I think that's
is
also that's our problem.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What so one I want a one word answer from you. I'll give you an extra question before you go. What is the
Right,
lowest position in the table that you would accept this season?
7, and I'll
Seventh?
tell you
Okay.
why.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll tell you
Yeah.
why. Top
Go
four,
for
we
it.
know it's Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City, and Chelsea. That's top four. Top
Mm-hmm.
six, Tottenham and Newcastle.
Newcastle.
We
Yeah.
should not go anything, above 7. I
Yeah.
think, the seventh, I think that should be a fair position because you count from 1 to 6.
Yeah.
Those clubs are good and they've got good players, and we also do have good players, but the seventh position should be a fair.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
Andy, thank you so much for joining in, man. I'm going to be doing this call-in show at least 3 times a week. Maybe
right.
this week I might do it every single day, but stay tuned for the community post message, and also just pay attention to your Discord. And I might call you in again. I really appreciate your thoughts, and I hope you can be back again. Thank you so much.
I do thank you, and you have a great one.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye. All right. So Andy's thoughts over here. I see some people in the chats. Nonstop mission. Hello everyone. Hi. How are you? And he says, I think at the current moment we should look for solutions within the squad that could work within the squad for this 3-4-3 tactic. So basically wants to find something, find a solution within what we have. And he's thinking about some youngsters from the academy. And then Gomolemo says they're only willing to accept 5th place. Yeah, very, very interesting thoughts, guys. I'm gonna get the next caller in. I believe this is Habil Adam. Let me get him onto the channel here. Hey, how are you? Is this Habil?
Yeah, yeah. How are you?
I am well, thanks. Habil, where are you calling from? And tell us what is your ideal midfield duo?
Okay, I'm from England, and as of now, I'd say Kobbie and Casemiro at the moment. I mean,
Kobbie
the
and
reason
Casemiro. Okay.
for this is, yeah, the main reason for this, I think, obviously, Cunha's out for a while, Mount's out for a while, so I think we should be playing Bruno in the 10 and Ahmed at wing back. I'd drop Shaw for and then put play Yoro at left centre back and Mazraoui at right centre back. I think that back three was what got us a decent foundation last season. I think we
Mm-hmm.
should continue with this.
So hold on. You're saying you want Ahmad as the right wing back. You want
Yes,
Mazraoui as
I
the
think
as the right center back, you said?
yes.
And where do you want Euro to be left center back?
Left centre back, and this is just like I think when Martinez comes back, I think he'll
Yeah.
play left centre back. I
Okay.
think what we should do, we go to right centre back and we play Mazraoui as in a CDM role next to like a Casemiro, next to Mainoo. And the reason for this is if you look at Mazraoui's like the role he plays, he tends to invert quite a lot, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're starting him further up, he's already got played like in a midfield role before at both Ajax and under Erik Ten Hag at Mainoo. So I
Mm-hmm.
think if you play him in the sixth role, he's already sort of familiar with that, anyways. In terms of obviously inverting into midfield, I think if we start him next to a Casemiro, he can provide the legs that Casemiro doesn't have at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and all round he can then go across the pitch like widthwise. So whoever needs help at that moment of time, he can he'd be good at I think running over and providing cover and support.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying the midfield two should be Casemiro and Mainoo, and then having Mazraoui as the right center back, helps provide the legs for Casemiro on that side, is what you're saying.
So at the moment, yeah, having him at the right centre back, I think. You've probably said this before, but in Amorim's system, the two wide centre backs usually are like full backs. They're covering the half spaces. So Mazraoui as a full back, he's used to that anyways. I think he'd be perfect for that. Obviously, Martinez did struggle with that, but before his injury, we did see him improving during the half spaces. And Euro, we've seen how much he's improved, since he's basically came into the squad. So we've got three very good options there as it is. I think that once Martinez comes back, we should play him at left centre back. We should play Mazraoui next to Casemiro or Mainoo, and then we have Euro as the right centre back. I think that should be like our back three and our midfield two.
Got it. I have a very important question for you. I know you had mentioned you want to talk about yesterday's topic, and we can get towards that. I'll give you some time to talk about that at the end. But I have a very important question for you about Kobbie Mainoo, right? Do you think Kobbie Mainoo is better defensively than Bruno Fernandes right now? And I want you to think 100%. About this. Okay, give me examples or reasons why. I want to hear some of this.
I mean, if you look at under Ten Hag, obviously when Eriksen, he lost his legs, we bought Mount to replace him. He was injured, so Mainoo was doing the Mount job of not only helping Casemiro, but he was helping progress the ball. He was like you could say he was like the Pogba type under under Solskjaer, where he'd get the ball deep and he'd progress the ball. Obviously, that's not his type of thing. He's basically a 10. He's basically a 10, but he can do the 8 role, in my opinion. And that's part of the reason why I want to start Mainoo and Casemiro, because in Amorim's system, what happens is one of the centre backs will become the CDM, and that will push one of the sixes up forward more. And so because of this, if we start Mainoo, Casemiro, Mazraoui or Martinez, whoever is, can step forward into midfield, allowing Mainoo to go forward.
Got it. But I think what you're saying is that Mainoo's better with ball progression. He's better on the ball in terms of the tight spaces. But I'm not hearing defensively what he does better, because I've pulled up Kobbie's stats on the screen. The YouTube video might be a little delayed, but you'll see it. And he's got 2.38 tackles per 90 minutes for the last year. And Bruno Fernandes has 2.42 tackles per 90 minutes, right? So they're very similar in terms of their defensive output. And obviously, you would agree with me that Bruno Fernandes is infinitely the better passer, and he's definitely a more creative player, right? So what is it exactly you want Kobbie to do in the system that Bruno doesn't do? Because I think people are looking at it like, they're looking at Kobbie's, possession, style, maybe, how he is on the ball, how press resistant he is. But they're not really paying attention to how the passing numbers are vastly different between, like, Bruno is much better, actually, on the ball in possession than Kobbie is. It's just that he's a little bit more press resistant, right? So my point isn't to criticize Kobbie Mainoo. My point is that if you actually look at it, all of these mistakes that people are pointing out about Bruno, right, where he lost Smith Rowe as the runner against Fulham, and he lost another runner yesterday against Man City, I think people are thinking that Kobbie Mainoo would not lose those runners, but I think my point is I think he also loses those runners, because I don't think he's better defensively than Bruno Fernandes. And that's my point, because people are saying, hey, we've got a big hole in the midfield and Bruno sucks defensively. But what people are not realizing is that Mainoo is probably equally bad defensively. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, he's a youngster, so this will come with time. People forget he's only 20, so this comes with time. Obviously, he's as a striker, and then he's not as I think the reason why Mainoo should be competing for Bruno is because it's different, but they're very similar in terms of getting the more closer the opponents dangerously. I think
I
that's
think
what Amorim
Habil,
is saying that.
your voice is breaking a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, reception's a bit weird here. I'm
Yeah,
just
no
walking at the
worries.
moment. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
was saying that I think why Amorim was saying that Mainoo's competing with Bruno is because even though like obviously Mainoo is a bit more press resistant, they're very similar in the sense that the closer they are to the opponent's goal, the more dangerous they become. And I think this is
Mm-hmm.
why Amorim is saying that Mainoo should be competing with Bruno. In regards to the defensive side, I mean, Mainoo barely played last season, so I think it's a bit, a bit awkward to pick out these kind of stats because it is misleading in the sense that obviously Bruno played how many much, he played pretty much every minute compared to Mainoo, who at the start of the season was getting minutes, but as we got to the tail end of it, he was
Yeah.
barely getting many minutes, and so
Mm-hmm.
it can be misleading in that sense.
Yeah.
I mean, defensively, obviously Bruno is a liability because
Mm-hmm.
people forget he's like 31 now, so
Yeah.
you're basically having to teach a dog an old dog new tricks. Basically, this is what's
Mm-hmm.
happening in this scenario. I think Mainoo, he is young, he's very talented. He can, learn these things. I mean, you got Casemiro and who's basically, multiple times UCL winner. You got Ugarte. The reason we got Ugarte in the metrics, if you look at, when we Statman Dave, he did a video on this. The only player that was better than Ugarte in the Ugarte stats was Paulinho, who went to Bayern the same season.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, Ugarte is someone who specializes in
Yeah.
destroying. The reason I wouldn't personally start Ugarte, he's got too many mistakes in his games. He's given away the ball in too many times in, the middle of
Mm-hmm.
the pitch, and he leads to the opponent scoring. City, for example, in the weekend last season, Newcastle. There's been multiple times where he's not paying attention. He slips, loses control, and because of that, the opponent the ball and takes, they
Yeah.
take a shot off.
Mm-hmm.
If I think he should be playing more of the Endo role where he's coming on for the last 15, 20 to just loosen, tighten up the defense. But I think we should be moving on from him next summer.
Yeah. Yeah. No, makes sense, and I appreciate your perspective here. Couple of things I just want to point out. One is I'm looking at FB Ref stats, and any player that's had more than 1,000 minutes, right, in any given season, the stats that they're producing is pretty representative of who they are as a player, right? So for Kobbie, for example, he had 1,500 minutes last season, and Bruno had 4,000 minutes in the last 365 days. So Bruno definitely has a lot more, but Kobbie has enough there to kind of tell us like what type of player he is. And based on that, you can see that defensively they're almost identical. And I haven't seen Kobbie being like this defensive masterclass. I don't think anybody's actually saying that, Kobbie's this amazing
Yeah,
defensive player.
no,
They like him more on the
I'm
ball.
not
Yeah.
saying he's
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a better end all be all. I'm just saying that in terms
Yeah.
of age, Mainoo has a lot more to, he's more
Yeah.
able to learn things.
Yeah.
Bruno, he's a decade younger than Bruno, who's basically,
Mm-hmm.
okay, pace isn't his thing. You look at Modric, for example, he's basically, say 9 now. So I can see Bruno playing for another half decade, another decade. But in
Yeah.
terms of learning
Yeah. Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
and learning new skills, I think he's beyond that stage, and that's probably why I put Mainoo above Bruno
Mm-hmm.
because he, like I said, he's got Casemiro, he's got Ugarte to learn from, Mazarawi who can help him with learning how to defend half spaces, things like this. I think that's why I'd prefer Mainoo there. And again, obviously Bruno, he's doing like just a bit more than Mainoo in the defensive stat. But for me, losing that point, point two, point three, the defensive actions to play him in the 10 is more than worth the sacrifice, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair. I have one last question for you, Habil. And I've thought about putting Mainoo in the team just like anybody else has, right? And so in 60 seconds, I want you to give me your thoughts on this. Um, do you think it's possible, given how banter our club has become right now, that we get Kobbie into the team and his defensive weaknesses get exposed, like I said, or like I think will happen, and that we then get accused of ruining another prospect, right? Because we seem to be getting it from both sides. Like we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. I think we're getting damned because we haven't put him in the team right now. I think what will happen is he'll get exposed just like Bruno is being exposed, just like Ugarte is being exposed, just like Casemiro's being exposed. And because that keeps happening, we'll be accused then of ruining Kobbie Mainoo. Do you think that's possible? Let's go. 60 seconds.
I mean, everything's a possibility, obviously. I mean, but I don't think people, obviously, at Man U, you're under so much scrutiny. But if you look at the, England squad in the Euros, where we had Declan Rice, we had Bellingham, and we had Mainoo, and Mainoo was doing the defensive work. Obviously, international football is a lot more slower than Prem football intensity, so we can't really use this. But I'm just saying, he can do the defensive work. He was basically doing the Paul Pogba role under Solskjaer, where he was getting the ball from our box to the opponent's box, to the tens, to the wingers, to the striker. And so, again, obviously, I think ideally, if we're going for a Baleba Anderson, Baleba or Anderson with Mainoo, I think would be a very balanced midfield in that regard. I mean, you look at Baleba at Brighton. His defensive midfielder is also sometimes with the striker up there as part of the front five. So I don't think that is much of an issue if you have Baleba, to be honest, if you get a Baleba Anderson type. I mean, ideally, obviously, Bruno's coming to the end of his Man U career. I think he'll be shifted off next summer. I think he'll be the Bruno long-term replacement as another 10. I think Mount will be moved on. Ideally, because obviously I'd rather play a 3-5-2 instead of a 3-4-3. Because it gives us more balance in the midfield. I think gives us the extra man. Bruno is going to be obviously playing deep, but he'll be sort of it'll be basically a imagine a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
But it's
Habil,
like
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to cut you off there. I have some other viewer waiting in the channel, and he's been waiting from the beginning. But I really appreciate your thoughts. I think you're saying a lot of the things that people are resonating with. A lot of people want Kobbie in the team, and I think we'll have to see what Amorim does, and see hopefully that improves the team. Cool. Thank you so much for calling in. We're going to be doing this more often, so please make sure you join again to come give your thoughts. And yeah, thank you so much. And you're from the UK, right?
Yeah, England, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, man. I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Are you going to do one tomorrow?
Tomorrow probably not, but on Thursday.
All right. Cheers.
Cool. See ya. Bye. All right. That was Habil from the UK. I'm seeing some people talking in the chat. Non-stop mission. And Assad, I think, was going to join, but he said he's going to come back in another show. I see some support from Vietnam. Papa Fots is also watching. If you guys want to join and come and give your thoughts, please join the Discord server. The link is pinned to the chat. It's very easy to sign up, very easy to join and come give your thoughts. Looks like we have one caller waiting, so I'm going to get him in here. I think Stanley's talking about Ruben Amorim. Let me just do this. Rishi, you're live on Footy with an Edge. Tell us again where you're calling from. You were here yesterday, but I want the viewers today to know to where you're calling from again, and tell us your thoughts on the midfield.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, my name is Rishi. I'm from Mumbai. Glad to see you online again, Andy. It's been a while since you've done this, which I mean you've been on YouTube. You took quite a hiatus, so it's glad to see you back to back. Within a week you've put up 2 videos and 3 videos, and then you've also done a couple of lives. So good to engage with you and with the community.
Rishi, could you speak a little bit closer to your mic, please? I think or maybe turn up the volume on your side. It's a little low on my end.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little better. Let's do it. So, what are your thoughts on the midfield? Who is your ideal midfield? How do
Okay,
you think Amorim fixes this mess?
this might be a bit of a hot take.
Yeah.
But and again, just standard disclaimer: I'm not a football expert. I'm just a crazy fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about football as much as Amorim or the other footballing brains do. But I think Casemiro and Ugarte would be a good combination right now,
Mm-hmm.
playing the
Okay.
kind of
Explain
system that
yourself.
Amorim is playing. Yeah, so I am going with two things basically. Ugarte gives me legs in the midfield, and just because we are facing a lot of counter attacks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, Ugarte's uh, best attribute is basically his tackling and his interceptions, and basically he is great at hounding players and getting the ball off them. And when we look at Ugarte's numbers, his tackles and interceptions, the tackles that he's making most of the times are recovery tackles when he's running back towards his own goal and he's trying to dispossess the opposition player. That's a
Mm-hmm.
situation we find ourselves a lot in.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said on yesterday's, was it on yesterday's live or was it one of your videos? You said that in the Manchester derby, Ugarte made 12 defensive actions,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, it was in
And
the
it
it was in
looks
the
like
review video, and I mentioned it yesterday.
yes, yes. So I think we absolutely need a player of that profile. Yes, I'm
Mm-hmm.
aware that Ugarte also comes with his flaws, that he's not that great on the ball. There are very obvious, like you could see it where he was in the right hand side channel and he had to play
Mm-hmm.
a simple ball that curls into Ahmad's path. And Ahmad would have been one on one, like he would have been in one of those places where Ahmad does a lot of damage, with the
Mm-hmm.
ball. And he messed up a simple pass. So I get that. But who's not messing up in this team? Ahmad himself is messing up so much. Bruno's messed
Yeah.
up that he's been directly responsible for two goals, and he didn't mark Foden yesterday. He didn't mark
Mm-hmm.
Smith Rowe, and he also missed a penalty against Fulham, right? So he's directly cost us like 4 points, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But so I think everyone is going to be an incomplete player in some sort because let's be honest, we've not fixed the midfield. I said this yesterday as well. We desperately needed to buy two midfielders. I think the one kind of composed midfielder that we did have in this team, which was Collier, we allowed him to
Mm-hmm.
go on loan, right? So
Mm-hmm.
clearly, Amorim thinks that the four that he's kept in the team are better off than Collier. Otherwise, he would have just kept him.
Mm-hmm.
But the best we have right now is Casemiro because if even if you pull up, I'll just try to see the screen at the same time. If you pull up
Yeah, I had my
Casemiro's FB ref number,
yeah.
if you pull up Casemiro's FB ref numbers,
Uh-huh.
uh, he's he's a defensive monster even today,
Yeah.
right? And in the
Yeah,
last
Rishi,
360
I
games,
just wanna quickly go through some of his stats for the audience that's watching, so that we can actually see what Rishi's talking about, right? So this is Casemiro's numbers over the last 365 days. So basically, like the last season, right? He is in the 99th percentile for tackles for midfielders. He's in the 99th percentile for blocks for midfielders, 93rd percentile for clearances, and 93rd percentile for aerials won. He is absolutely, even at his advanced age, a defensive monster. And if you look at Ugarte as well, he's got 98th percentile for tackles, 92nd percentile for interceptions, and 90th percentile for blocks, right? So what the point Rishi's making is that if we go back to the tactical board here, a lot of the issues that we're facing right now is that it's very, very difficult for us to score the goals, and it's very easy for the opposition to score against us, right? The opposition gets one chance and it's generally one goal, whereas we need like 5, 10 chances to actually score a goal. So if Amorim is trying to solve the defensive issues in this team, then the solution probably is with what Rishi said, which is let's have Ugarte and Casemiro in the midfield. Let's play Bruno further up the pitch with Ahmad and Mbumo on the right hand side, Fernandez and Dorgu on the left hand side, and Ugarte and Casemiro in the midfield. And the reason why I actually agree with Rishi and I think this works is because Casemiro is a really good passer, right? He's got really good first time passes. He can play those passes into the channel. He knows how to switch the play really well. So all Ugarte is doing is providing the legs in the midfield and passing the ball to someone like Casemiro, or passing it to Shaw or whoever the left center back is, or passing it forward to Fernandez to play that next incisive pass. So I actually think this works really well. Rishi, do you think I've captured where you were going with this?
You said it better than I could have. Could you also just open up Casemiro's complete scouting report and go to the section? Sorry, I don't know if you've already done that because there's a lag on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
Scroll further down and look at his defense and possession. Just open up that window if you can see it on your screen.
Yeah, I'm going there right now. Defensive actions.
Just go to goal and shot creation, and below that there's defense, and below that there's possession.
Okay, sorry, give me a second. Yeah, so which one do you want me to look at?
Just have you opened the complete scouting report, and can you just go scroll down till you reach defense and possession? You'll have to scroll.
Okay, my apologies. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, there you go. Defense and possession. Yeah.
Can you see the numbers that he's putting up, Casemiro?
Yeah. These are wild, right? If you're looking at tackles 1, tackles in defensive third, middle third, attacking third, dribblers tackled, dribbles challenged, blocks, shots blocked, tackles and interceptions, clearances. He's in the 99th percentile for almost all of them, right? So Casemiro definitely needs to be starting in this team, and your point is taken, right? I think this is definitely our best combination. I don't know if it's the best combination forever, but for now, when our midfield is getting exposed so much, having 2 defensively sound central midfielders is not the worst idea, right? And I actually think,
of course, sorry, I asked you, the reason I also asked you to open up his possession numbers is to prove that Casemiro is not a chump on the ball. People who are talking about wanting to see Mainoo on the ball, just think back in your time and just try to remember Mainoo's game. Do you ever see a big booming 40-50 yard crossfield ball that is setting the wing back or setting Mbumo free? I can't remember a ball like that. The longest ball I can remember from Mainoo is progressing the ball sideways, and vertically maybe he's moved it 5 or 10 yards. Right? He may be switching the ball from the midfield to the flank, but vertical movement just 10 yards. And Casemiro's shown again and again that not only is he good with those long balls to set the wingers and the attacking midfielders free, he's also got a shot on him from a little bit of the from like 15-20 yards, right?
Yeah,
he's a menace in the box when he's attacking a ball from a corner. So all those things are there, and of course we will all remember the odd howler from Casemiro where he completely let his player go, or he will it will make us seem like, okay, he's got that one mistake where high up the pitch he's rushing into a tackle, but then he completely misses and he's leaving the whole defense exposed. But that's exactly why you have Ugarte. I see in the chat here, Tactical Devil says go deeper.
There's Rishi, there's 2 other callers waiting. So I'm gonna ask you one question, and I want one answer from you, and I'll definitely pull you back in if time permits. What is the lowest position you will accept this season in the table? And I just want the position. No explanation, just give me a position.
No, I don't look at it like position because 66 points.
Rishi, let's go. You can answer the question. You got this. Just tell us one position. What is the lowest position you'll accept?
No, I'll go by points. Like I said yesterday, I'll take 62 points. That's the lowest I can accept, 62 or 60, because That's still like a 40% improvement on 42 points that we got
Okay.
last season. So
Okay,
60 or
got it.
62 points. That's the
Got it.
least I'll
Got it.
take.
Okay. 60 or 62 points, and that probably gets us, depending on the season, between fifth and seventh position, maybe, right? Okay.
Maybe eight.
Awesome.
I don't care if we are even eight, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think 62 points is where I'm at.
Got it. Got it. Awesome. Well, Rishi, thank you again for your thoughts. 2 days in a row, you've joined the call-in show, and I'm sure the viewers appreciate it, but I know I do. So thank you so much. I'm going to move you back to the waiting room, and if there's time a little bit later, I'll pull you back in.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Looks like we have a few people waiting now. I'm gonna get in Spliss Killer 25. I'm sure he'll share his actual name. And then I'm gonna get Anoop, who's also waiting behind him. Hello, you're live on Footy with an Edge. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You?
I am well, thanks. So tell us your name, introduce yourself. Where are you calling from?
All right. My name is Brian, and I'm calling from Jamaica, actually.
Jamaica. Nice, awesome. Nice to meet you, Brian. Tell me, how long have you been following United?
Just after the glory years, 2014.
Yeah. Okay. So
I
similar
had to
to
cover two
me.
more is all the way up.
Yeah. Similar to me, I started watching United first back in like 2004. So when Ruud van Nistelrooy was banging them in. But I was still very young, so I properly started watching United probably around 2012 or 2013. So similar time as me. So tell us, what are your thoughts on the midfield? What should we do in terms of a solution for the predicament we find ourselves in? And do you have any thoughts on Amorim as well?
Well, let me start with Amorim first, because I guess you go
Okay.
for the head, then everything else after.
Sure.
The manager now, I think I get his philosophy, I get his plan, and many are complaining about the formation and the system and the things that are not clear. I have watched maybe at least 7 different analysts on different matches for United, and what I see is a lot of nitpicking, because some may show positive, some may show negative. So I'm like, what is the verdict? And as you were saying in your video, Amorim is not without blame, but I think most of it is composure on the ball.
Yeah.
I was even watching Bruno Fernandes, and he got a 5-yard pass, and it's like he hesitated, and because he hesitated, he went out for a throw. And I'm like, this is our best player. How are you hesitating to control a ball? It's like 5 yards away from you. How are you hesitating? And it seems like the whole team just became more nervous because of that. So the manager is at fault, firstly, because he's not creating an environment for the players to be more free. And I get that he's a very systematic manager, wherein he wants everything to work within the system. But Pep is a systematic manager as well. So he's making things work. So what will you do to make things work? On the midfield, it works. The problem is,
you think Bruno and Casemiro or Bruno and Ugarte works?
it does. And based on all the analysis it does, here's the problem. As Bruno was even saying, when he jumps on Rodri, Lenny should step up to Mark Foden. So there is an expectation to have 3 in the midfield.
Yeah.
So there is an expectation to have 3 in the midfield. So I'm saying then, all right, then that means there's a plan to put more bodies in the midfield. Maybe Euro is not the perfect profile. So what I was thinking in my head is, why don't we put Lenny at left centre back, Mazraoui at right centre back, so he can step into midfield, which is more comfortable to do.
Interesting point, Brian. There's something about Amorim's system that I haven't actually covered, because I'd taken a break from the channel when we first signed him, right? So there's a key piece of his back line, the way he played at Sporting, what he did was the center back, right? So De Ligt in this case would actually step up into midfield to make it a three-man midfield, right? And it would be the right center back and left center back would actually be a little bit more narrow, and then the wing backs would play as fullbacks if needed, right? That's how his system used to work. So actually, if someone has to step in from the middle, again, this is what he did at Sporting. Maybe he wants to do something different at United, but it's actually the center back that needs to step in, right? So in my opinion, I think Yoro is our best right center back because he's got the pace to cover the wingers on that side. And at left center back, I think Shaw has been exposed in the last game because he's just not strong enough for Haaland. But I think it's debatable whether Martinez is actually better than Shaw. That's not to say Shaw is amazing. It's just that I don't think we have great quality for left center back.
Both
and in the middle,
both have done very well progressively in passes.
Yeah,
but Martinez is not as mobile as Shaw, but Shaw seems unfit.
Yeah, exactly. And Shaw's issue is maybe the physicality, maybe the leap, the aggression. He doesn't have it, whereas Martinez has it, right? So we just don't have a very good composure there. But I think you make some good points. You're saying that potentially Bruno can work. It's just that the system is not working very well because the players are not used to doing the right things, right? So he's getting exposed. Bruno's getting exposed in the midfield, and that's exactly what I talked with the last caller as well. So I appreciate your thoughts. Really quickly, Brian, what is the lowest position in the table that you're willing to accept this season?
Oh boy, I'm at this point where I just watch the games without any form of hope these days.
Yeah.
No, you watch the first 5 minutes of a match and then you're excited. Then it's like a whole different team for the other 45 or 65 or whatever. It's just so demoralizing because I even listened back to like an interview from Benny McCarthy where he was saying these players in training seem like they could turn over anyone, but on match day it was just a different team.
Yeah.
So I do believe confidence is one thing for them, that they lose it at match day. But I would love for the team to be in and within the European spots, maybe 7th, 6th, 5th.
Yeah. So at least Conference League or Europa League is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Our owners like money.
Yes, they do. Well, Brian, I really appreciate you joining the call-in show. We do have another viewer waiting, but I'm happy to put you back in the waiting room. If you have more thoughts, I'll bring you back in. But thank you so much for joining, man. I appreciate your thoughts. And listen, hang in there because I think Ineos are going to back Amorim because it looks really bad if they fire another coach so quickly. Because let's not forget, they made 2 mistakes with coaching so far. First, they didn't let Ten Hag go after he won the trophy at the end of the season. The second mistake is that if they fire Amorim, that's a second mistake they're making. So let's see what happens. But I'm quite optimistic despite how bad the season has been going so far.
True.
All right. Thank you so much, man. I'm going to move you back to the waiting room. And if anyone else wants to join, please join Discord. Please come join the show. We've had some great callers today. And I'm going to bring in Anoop next. Anoop, you're live on Footy with an Edge. How are you doing? Where are you calling from? And how long have you been a United supporter?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. So I'm Anoop. I'm calling from Bay Area, California. And I've been a United fan.
Sorry, you cut out, Anoop.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, go for it.
Okay. I'm calling from Bay Area, California. I've been a United fan for almost 25 plus years, since 96.
Very nice.
I have seen generations of this United team. The days, glory days when we were winning everything, anything and everything. Every game used to be interesting.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing the lows.
Yes.
So it's not been very pleasant for the last few years, at least the decade.
So you said 1996 is when you started watching them?
Correct, yes.
So that's
and I was in India
almost
those
30
days,
years.
And,
That's almost 30 years,
yes.
Anoop. Yeah, that's almost 30 years, and that's even before we won. We won
Yeah,
against
the treble,
Munich in
yes.
1999. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
the treble. Yes, that's treble.
yeah,
Yes.
that's great to hear. First of all, at least one of us has had a great time supporting this club. And I'm only joking because I think part of being a football fan is going through the misery, right? Because if it's all
It is.
just if it's all just great, then we'd all be supporting Man City. And let's be honest, it's called the empty hat for a reason, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, so I appreciate you joining, and we have a very experienced Man United fan in our midst. Okay, so tell us your thoughts on the midfield, and give us your thoughts on Amorim as well.
Okay. About the midfield, first I want to blame the board. Okay, I don't know why subsequent recruitment teams at United
Mm-hmm.
looked at our history of winning trophies and decided there was no need for a midfielder. No need to recruit midfielders at least this
Mm-hmm.
summer.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I don't think what I'm going to say United fans are ready to hear.
Okay.
All our midfielders are crap. At least the ones he's playing there, them are crap, with the exception of maybe Mainoo, who has serious weaknesses off the ball, which we don't get to see because he doesn't play much or he's not been put in that position. So I heard another caller, you speaking to another caller, and you
Mm-hmm.
correctly pointed out that he does have weaknesses that we don't get to see. And probably if he was in the same position as Bruno, he
Mm-hmm.
would have let his man go as well.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I believe, yeah. So I believe Amorim's issue with Mainoo is that what me and you don't see is intensity. That he does
Mm-hmm.
not have intensity. I mean, I manage a youth team here.
Mm-hmm.
I have a youth team for just under 25, between 15 years old and 20 years old. And it's not football, it's cricket. Okay, you might know cricket more.
Yeah, of
But
course, of course. I'm a big fan of cricket as well, by the way.
yes.
So
That's good
yeah,
to know. Yeah.
yeah, go for it.
I have the same problem because I take the youth players and play them in an adult league in a highest level here in Division 1, which is the third highest level in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the same problem, no intensity from these young players. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No,
that's the same thing. Yeah.
it's a good point. Just really quickly, to add to what you're saying, there's so many gaps in Mainoo's game right now, right? He's got one or two things that you could say are maybe world class, or could develop to be world class, right? Like how a little bit like how Frankie De Jong plays, right? Where he's got the close control, he can be very good against the press, and he's got that in him, and that's what people are getting excited by. But what they don't realize is there's so many other flaws in his game that are limiting him from being the player that he thinks he is, or that we think he is, right? So everybody's thinking like, hey, Chelsea have Moises Caicedo, who's of a similar age profile. Enzo Fernandez is a young midfielder. He can also do it. But let's not forget, Enzo Fernandez has won a World Cup with Argentina by playing almost all the games of that tournament. He's been playing in Chelsea's midfield starting every week. Moises Caicedo was killing it at Brighton, and they paid 115 million to buy him at Chelsea. And he's also playing against some of the best players in the world in that team. So we can't start thinking that Mainoo is the same level as some of these other young players just because we want him to be. He has to show that to us before he gets into the system, especially ahead of Bruno.
I agree.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. He has weaknesses off the ball, and he's also not good from set pieces. And we've been conceding a lot of goals through set pieces, and that's one of the reasons why Amorim doesn't want to pick him. That said, if you want to know what my midfield combination would be, I already told you all of them are crap. The only solution comes in January if they're able to buy a midfielder. But right now, I would just go with Ugarte and Casemiro midfield to start with, and then maybe try Mainoo as bring Mainoo off the bench. Or against weaker teams, you can go with Bruno and Mainoo if you're chasing a game. These are the only two solutions that Amorim can even bring out right now. The other problem in this team are the wingbacks. The wingbacks are so passive. I can't believe, for a system like this where wingbacks are extremely critical, our wingbacks are not of the Premier League quality, to be honest. Like Mazraoui last weekend, I watched him, and he is so slow. He can't even offer Mbeumo any support. How are we supposed to score any goals? So,
do you think Dorgu is also the problem, though?
no, Dorgu has tremendous athleticism. He can win the ball, he can win his duels, he can get into the box, but his problem is the final delivery. He has to find those passes. I remember one moment from last weekend where he was in acres of space and he could not find Sesko. It's a simple pass, and Sesko has a tap in. He makes the right run. I mean, Sesko makes the right run, but Dorgu doesn't find him. It doesn't even beat the immediate first man. So in this system, you need wingbacks who are good with 1v1s, because the system isolates wingbacks to be 1v1 against the opposition defenders. And if you're not good 1v1, this system is going to look crap. So I believe, irrespective of what people say about Amorim, he's an excellent coach. He has designed a system. I agree some of them don't fit because this is still a Ten Hag team. So the fan base shouldn't panic. It's like Ten Hag left behind a 15-plus team. You can't really do anything. He can only change so much with 5 signings. And those 5 signings have to land quickly. Once we have better players, we might probably start seeing better outcomes from the system. Like yesterday, for example, take out Dorgu, put Semenyo in. What do you think is going to happen? He's going to score a goal. Either on the right or on the left. It's the same thing. It generates chances. It's by design. It's by design to stay compact in the middle and expose the wings. So the wing backs are critical in this system. You cannot play with Dalo and Mazraoui on the right side. Or whatever, Dorgu on the left side.
I agree with you. I think, first of all, I think Amad Diallo is not good enough to play in the 10 positions. And I think his only position in the team right now is as a right wing back. Anytime he puts him in the 10, he played in the 10 against Grimsby, he was crap. He played against Man City, he was crap. As the wing back, even yesterday, all of the XG we created, or 2 days ago, sorry, all of the XG we created, right? Let me just pull it up on screen as well. Came after the 70th or 80th minute when Amad went to the right wing back position, right? And yes, we had already lost the game by that point, but all of our XG came at that point. So look, in our second half, we had 1.49 XG out of the total 1.52 we created in the whole game, and all of them came at the end of the game. So my point is, Amad needs to be our starting wing back on the right side, because Mazraoui and Dalo, like you just said, are really not good enough to play as the attacking wingbacks. They're good defensively, but in an attacking sense, they're really bad. With Dorgu, he has the athleticism, he has the promise. I think Dorgu reminds me a lot of Destiny Udogie, by the way, at Tottenham, right? He has the same level of athleticism, the same pace, he can do the overlapping runs, but he needs to improve on his decision-making, right? I think if I was sitting Dorgu down today, my first comment to him would be, you need to put in some early crosses, right? Luke Shaw used to be really good at this, where he would put in the early crosses from like the half spaces. Dorgu needs to not rely on just overlapping, right? Sometimes you stay deep and you play the early cross to Šeško. I think that's going to be very important.
I agree. For this system to start kicking, we definitely need better quality players in major parts of the system. There are serious problems right now, and he cannot fix everything in one season or one or two windows. He needs more windows, and hopefully they will make some sensible signings. And let's hope. But we have another problem. The fan base has no patience. Look at me. I've seen the upside, the better years. I'm seeing the down years. I never wanted Ten Hag to be sacked because, despite his system was exposing our midfields and midfield issues and other things, I never wanted him to be sacked. But I just wanted someone at the club to get a message saying that you sit down with him and tell him this is not going to work. Fix the damn thing. That's it. I want people at the club to do the same with Amorim right now.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? I saw a stat the other day that in his first 40 games, Sir Alex had also only won 16 games, the same as Ruben. Not to say that the Ruben's a second coming of Sir Alex, but my point is we can keep sacking managers till the cows come home, right? We can keep doing that, but it's not going to change anything. The problem is, like yesterday, a lot of callers, I don't know if you caught the show yesterday, but a lot of callers mentioned that if we keep changing the system, then it's going to keep dragging us back to this counter-attacking football, right? There's going to be no difference between us and a Bournemouth or us and a Brentford. We're just going to keep playing the same, like, we might as well bring Ollie back to being the manager if we want to just play counter-attacking football and get the good vibes, right? I think that's a little bit of the problem. Yeah. Anyways, Anoop, thank you so much for joining. Great thoughts. We really do, have a global audience. So really glad to get some of your thoughts in. And Anoop's calling in from the Bay Area, guys, by the way. So if anyone else wants to call in from the West Coast, please join the Discord channel. Anoop, I'm gonna let you go for now. If you're gonna come back, stay on the lookout for the community post, because I'll usually post a day in advance when I'm gonna be live. And we're gonna try to get a regular call-in show going, because I think I really enjoyed talking to you today.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Same here. I enjoyed talking to you, and nice being on the show.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna get Red Viper in next. I'm gonna guess that this is the Vietnamese viewer that was watching earlier. Hi, Red Viper. Please introduce yourself. I think you are. Oops, just brought you in. Hey. You're live on Footy with an Edge. I think you need to unmute yourself, and then we can get a conversation going.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Tell us your name. Tell us how long you've been following United and where you're calling from.
My name is Sam. I have been watching United from 1999, so it's been quite a while now.
Wow,
and,
the glory days.
Yeah.
The glory days.
I was lucky to be born during that time.
Nice. That's awesome. And so what is and where are you calling from?
I'm from Vietnam.
Vietnam, nice. What time is it for you?
It's 1 o'clock. So I'm watching Arsenal versus
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. Thank you so much for making time for the show at this late at night for you. Okay, so tell us, what do you think about the midfield? What are your thoughts on Amorim? Just tell us what's on your mind.
I have been because I'm started watching football closely during Ole Sosa and Ten Hag, and right now we are on with Amorim. So I think people always said give him time, give him more resource, trying to get him to develop his system. But I think it's a myth, because if we're watching Chelsea or Real Madrid or any other team, if the manager doesn't perform in maybe 1 year or sometimes even 6 months, they get sacked, and then the new manager come in, they implement this new system. So that's why they are able to bounce back, because they find the right one and they know how to end the relationship when they think it's not working out. So that's my thought. And
so you think you're Amorim out is what you're saying?
I have been Amorim out for like from the end of when we lost to Tottenham Hotspur. I think I think the Amorim ceiling is not very high. Like, he can get us somewhere in the mid-tables, maybe even European football, but him to be taking us to be like the next Arsenal or Chelsea or City, I don't think so, because his ceiling is not that high.
Very interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, because like when you want a manager, you want the manager to have a high ceiling to take you to the next level. Yeah, because I watch Sporting a lot, and I figure that his system always about beating the press, and always about it's like a carbon copy of Roberto De Zerbi and Pep Guardiola, but he doesn't control. He just beat the press and then throws the long ball. I don't think this strategy working out in the Premier League. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it. So you're Amorim out. Do
Yeah.
you think there's another manager out there that you're excited about right now? Who would you replace Amorim with?
Um, I think I think like the most logical choice would be hiring a EPL proven manager,
Okay.
Glasner, Iraola. I think they could be doing a solid job because
Okay.
because we had to accept the fact that we're not top team anymore, so we can't attract the top tier manager like Xabi Alonso, Pep or Klopp. We have to settle with a potential and solid manager first, build ourselves a foundation before we try to move on to the next level.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So if I might add, something about Oliver Glasner, right? And people who are watching, maybe you can look at the screen as well. He won against Aston Villa 3-0. He had 42% possession in that game, right?
Yeah.
And if you watch the game against Sunderland as well, it was 0-0, and he had 56% possession, but that's against a newly promoted side, right? So I don't think Glasner is gonna have this advanced, amazing football that everybody's expecting. He's doing a good job with Crystal Palace, but I think we might run into similar problems if he joins United. And same with Iraola, right? Iraola is playing with Semenyo. He's playing with he was playing with Django Ouattara last season, and a lot of players that play on the counterattack, right? So I don't think there is a manager out there that's in the Premier League right now that's suited to playing possession football and wants to and can do well at United, right? The only manager that I can think of is maybe Eddie Howe, who's been at Newcastle and he's done a really good job. But for Eddie Howe, you're going to have to wait till the end of the season because he's not leaving Newcastle in the middle of the project. Right? So
yeah.
but
Can I just talk one thing?
yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah, I think we have like there's a misconception about like the manager want to play possession based football, like Arteta or Luis Enrique or Pep Guardiola. I think they all play possession based football. Even Klopp play possession based football, but his style is more like direct and transition. So like you control the game by you create more chance, more threat. It doesn't matter like you have to pass sideways or like a lot like Pep Guardiola or make a like switching with the ball very fast like Klopp. As long as you create a fluid system to attack and defend, you can control the game. Because to be able to play like Pep Guardiola or Arteta, you need like a very good deep line playmaker like Zubimendi or Rodri, and you need like a very good like center mid. They have to control the ball like crazy, like Gundogan or Bernardo Silva. Like since there a lot of things needs to be done for that system to work. So yeah,
makes sense. Awesome. What did you say? Your name was Sam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining the call-in show, Sam. I think it's very interesting to hear a different opinion that you're basically Amorim out and you think somebody else can do better. I have to say, we haven't seen evidence yet for me to say you are wrong because we haven't won the games. We haven't really seen the great football yet. But my problem is more that I think sacking him doesn't really help us achieve the positives. I think we are more likely to be coming back to this position than we are to move forward because the board needs to make some decisions and make some changes. But anyways, thank you so much for your thoughts, and I hope you can come back on the channel.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was an interesting call. We got thoughts from somebody saying that he's Amorim out. I want to see if somebody else wants to join the channel. I do see Brian from Jamaica and Rishi from India are still in the waiting room, so I could pull them back in. But if anyone else wants to join, Okay, we're gonna be live for another 15 minutes, guys. If anyone wants to join, you can hop in. But I'm gonna bring back Brian for. Oh, looks like we do have another caller. There we go. We'll pull him in, and then we'll give time for some of the folks that have been waiting. Hey, you're live on Footy with an Edge. Please introduce yourself and tell us where you're calling from. Looks like you're muted. Hey, are you still here? Some technical difficulties, guys. Appreciate your patience. Hello? All right. I'm gonna let you figure out the audio, unless you're gonna. Hello?
I think I can hear you now.
Yeah, I think I can hear you. Go for it.
Okay. I'm nonstop, but my name is Harry from Tanzania.
Harry from Tanzania. How are you, Harry?
Yeah.
And how long have you been following United?
Let me first be honest. I am not a United fan.
Okay.
I am a Chelsea fan.
Okay. Well,
And I've
welcome.
been following for a while.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I definitely want to be making more Chelsea content, and hopefully I can bring that to you. But tell me, what's on your mind?
Okay. So basically, for me, when I see your team, you're not suited for a back four. You're more suited for, let's say, you're more suited for a back four and not a back three.
Okay.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It's breaking a little bit. Your voice is breaking a little bit, but I think I can hear you. Yes, go ahead.
I think your team is more suited for a back four than a back three.
Okay.
But we have to be realistic. Your team, Amorim wants to play a 3-4-3, right? Now, for playing a 3-4-3, the biggest issue is your wing backs, first of all. Your wing backs have to be very athletic. The stamina that your wing backs have to have is very high. Speaking from experience, I, as a Chelsea fan, I have witnessed Conte and Tuchel do this a lot.
Yeah,
and
Victor
also
Moses
even
and Alonso, right, as the two wing backs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So there is some kind of stamina that you have to move around. Your off the ball movement have to be very, very high, and also your wing backs have to be very intelligent on how they have to set up the way they have to go. When they have to push up and down, they have to know how they have to move. That is very key in a 3-4-3 system. Now, for example, from your formation way, how you have set it up on the page right there, on your YouTube right there. Let's say when you are like starting to build up your press, to build up your style of play, the wing backs have to be a little bit lower so as to bait like those fullbacks and midfielders to be onto them so that they can like receive on a half turn. On a way to receive on a half turn between, let's say, look at Euro and Ahmad. If Ahmad was a bit wider but a bit lower, and who's that? Casemiro, right?
Yes,
Casemiro. They form
Casemiro
like
Ugarte, yes.
Yeah, like between Euro, Casemiro, Ahmad, and Mbeumo, they have to form like a sort of diamond shape.
Okay.
They have to be so that you can bait them. That you don't know if like a City player, they don't know where the pass will be going. Will it be going to Ahmad? Will it be going to Casemiro? Or will it be going to Mbeumo?
Yeah.
So that Sesko has to like try to be running in behind so as to allow Mbeumo to drop in to drop into that half space while Ahmad being very wide, but at the same time not too high, like in the midway, nearly horizontally, like nearly like space, like the horizontal space, nearly the same. But Euro has to be able to pick up on that pass between Casemiro,
so
Ahmad,
you're
and also
talking about you're talking about in the build up we need to have our triangles or our diamonds a bit more structured so that everybody knows where the other person is going to be, and we are exploiting the other midfielders to pull them out of position and give them something to think about, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. That's my point.
Yes.
Even if you can try to remember, Pep Guardiola, when he was trying to face us in the final, he spoke about this thing when facing Chelsea in that time. If you can remember that the wing backs were providing the width. The wing backs providing the width, they have to be that much very athletic in their movement that they have to provide the width all the time. So it's very key for the wing backs to be very athletic. Now, that is one of the key issues for United. I see that the profile of the players which you have for wing backs is it's not good, to be honest.
No, I agree with you. And I think you make a good point. I have another question for you. Where do you think United, as a rival fan, where do you think United will finish this season in the table? And do you think there's a chance United wins against Chelsea on the weekend?
Okay, let me start with that United versus Chelsea first.
Sure.
Because United have this thing like they are geared up for a big match. They've always been geared up for a big match. So saying that Chelsea will win, I am not expecting that so much, because I've said it over the past, like these matches, they might win, but apparently it doesn't happen. So I'm not very much expecting Chelsea to win, maybe a draw at most. Okay. That's what I'm expecting.
Okay. Yeah. And where do you think United finishes this season?
So for top four, it's already closed. It's a closed room, top four. Yeah. And I think the next one, 5 to 7, is also closed between Villa, Newcastle, and Spurs, unless injuries occur along the way.
Yeah.
The most United can hope for is finishing 8th. But in my opinion, I think they'll be finishing 12th.
12th. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I appreciate your thoughts. I don't think there's anything that I have seen so far. It's too early in the season for me to say that you are definitely wrong. And
you're totally right.
Yeah.
Because I listened to your video the other day, the first video which you provided. I can remember that you said that you guys were creating many chances, and it's true. You are actually creating many chances. But if you can think about those chances, most of them came when you were at a losing position. Whenever teams
that's for the City game, but for the Arsenal game and the Fulham game and the Burnley game, we weren't in losing positions, right?
Sorry. Like a point where you need to win. Like, you know, those moments in games where a team is desperate to look for a win.
Yeah,
that is what I was trying to mean. Like those moments of desperation of trying to score a goal. That is what I was trying to actually mean.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Harry, I appreciate you joining to give your thoughts. We have only 4 minutes left here, so I'm going to get somebody else in. But please do join us again. It's super cool to hear some thoughts from rival fans as well. And I'm going to actually consider doing a Chelsea call-in as well at some point. But I need to first see if there's enough interest for it. But thank you so much for calling in, and please join us again.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. All right, let's get both Brian and Rishi into the call. Brian and Rishi, you guys are both live on Footy with an Edge. We've got 4 or 5 minutes here to wrap up the call. I want you guys to give the closing thoughts. I want you to be the voice of the people and tell us, like, what do you think the midfield should be, the final midfield, and where do you think we're actually going to finish this season, and be realistic.
All right. Could I have an input first?
Yeah, go for
Yeah,
it.
please go ahead.
All right. So I'm gonna use a little bit of reference. When I play PES Evolution, I guess you guys know about PES eFootball, whatever. I'm a
Yes,
big play at the back fan.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask anybody in the groups that we play against each other, they know me as the guy that loves play at the back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing a manager at United that plays three at the back. I was probably one of the most excited persons.
Mm-hmm.
And the back three, for me, is very strong defensively. I don't know about most people, and it creates a lot of openings offensively as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there are times where I sort of have to tweak it, per se, where I cannot use 3 attackers, 2 floating 10s, and a center forward. I might be using 2 center forwards, one's a deep lying and one runs the channel, and a single pivot as a rather a number 10 and 2 pivots, because it helps to change the dynamic of it, having one player in the pocket to turn and to provide. And I know that the deep line forward could drop in and provide additions in the number field, creating a box midfield. So that's also a possibility. But as for the team, looking at it now, I think there are many ways Amorim can tweak it. And I believe Amorim has the ability, and we can't discredit him because of the Portuguese league. But I know that managers by design are stubborn.
Yeah.
So they have their beliefs and they want to stick with it because they believe in themselves. And I know in Jamaica we normally say belief kills and belief cures. So let's see where Amorim goes, but I'm sticking with it.
Got it. That's a great point. And Rishi, before I hand it over to you, there is one kind of tweak to the system that nobody has talked about today that I think could actually work, and that is playing a 3-2 or a, what's it called, a 3-4-1-2, right? So where we have the wing backs and we have Ugarte and Casemiro, say, in the midfield, but we actually play only 2 up top and we play someone like Bruno in the pocket in the middle, right? And that is an option. So what we could do is potentially play Šeško and Mbumo as the 2 forwards and play Bruno in the pocket behind them. Rishi, what do you think? What do you think about something like this, where we have Bruno in a more central area, and we just play 2 attackers, and this could be Cunha and Mbumo when he's fit, or it could be Šeško and Mbumo right now.
Yeah, Andy, my question is that if we have one forward and we are not able to create for him, what the hell good is it going to do to have 2 strikers up front? 2 forward players in that
it's
position?
not going to be so they're not going to be like they're not going to be 2 strikers, right? They're going to be more like 2 inside forwards, and we're not going to have anybody as the central focal point. So think about it this way: instead of having Šeško being in between the 2 center backs for City, it'll be Šeško being in between the inside space between the fullback and the center back, and Mbumo being in the inside space between the other 2 sides, right? And then they have more fluidity, and they're kind of sharing that responsibility. So Mbumo kind of gets to play some, something like that, where Mbumo still has the ability to play in the positions where he's playing now, and Šeško probably has to learn a bit more of running the channels.
But didn't he do it at Leipzig though? He played with Openda and he was the one that dropped off to support Openda.
He did, yes, he did. But I just mean in this system, right? He still needs to learn whichever position he's playing. Rishi, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think Amorim's going to do that. We want to talk about what Amorim will actually do, right? So I don't think that it makes sense to discuss this. Even if we were to play this, I don't see my simple point is that we are not able to create for 1 striker. And this is a historical problem since 2018.
Yeah.
we came second, 81 points, but we scored only 68 goals. And I believe that's the highest number of goals. Sorry, after that, I think under Oli, we scored 73 goals in that season. We came second with 74 points. So we have not been able to score goals for strikers. If we have another player who's good in the build up, like Mbumo's pretty good in the build up, why do we waste him further up the pitch, right? Your whole tweak is to bring Bruno more central and to pack the midfield. I think that's your attempt. So my point is, if we are packing the midfield, and this possession by this formation, by the way, is a first phase of build-up formation, right? Where you start with three at the back, because once you progress into the middle third, and then you go to the from the middle third onwards, you have five people in the attack. Your wing backs also join in. So if you're talking about packing the midfield, Punya drops pretty deep. Like all of his best play that I've seen has been in and around the center circle, where he's dropped in and he's picked the ball and he's turned his man and he's charged ahead with the ball. So whatever we're talking about packing the midfield, anyway, you could ask Mbumo and Cunha also to drop a little bit deeper to help out, which I think they are doing. So for me, this whole hullabaloo that's going on about formation, I think it's just about not having the right players, because see, you don't have a midfield right now. So no matter what we tweak anywhere, it's not going to help till you optimize the midfield, which according to me should be Casemiro and Ugarte. Once we do that, I think we bring in a little bit of solidity. We can enable other people to blossom in their best positions. The other huge problems we have is Ahmad is having a stinker for the last 7-8 months, ever since he signed his new contract. But with him at right wing back, you can't drop him and start someone else over there, right? So you have to keep playing him. Dorgu is 20 years old. You can't drop him and start Luke Shaw at left wing back, who I think a fit and a motivated good Shaw would be a great left wing back. But I don't think he has it anymore.
Rishi,
So
real quick,
we have
let me let Brian react to this. What do you think, Brian? Rishi's saying, I don't think a change to the system is necessary. I think more midfield solidity is necessary, and we just need to give it time.
I think that judgment is definitely based off, if not one of the reason, is Ruud van Nistelrooy playing Ugarte and Casemiro, and that very good run where we won in the Europa League and we came back in the league and we smashed Leicester. But if we allow Mbumo to drop back in to fill up the numbers in the midfield, we sort of take away a lot of his ability to run the channels and to stretch teams a lot.
I think what Rishi means is not necessarily Mbumo playing the whole game in the midfield. It's more to be a part of the build-up, right? So when you have the ball going from let's say the defensive third to the middle third to the final third, if Mbumo sometimes drops into this position, right? If you can see it on the screen, if he drops a little bit lower, what that allows for us is it allows one of the midfielders to run past him, and it also allows Ahmad to get to cut inside and be that winger, right? The same position that Mbumo's playing. So I think that's what Rishi's trying to say. It's not necessarily to say that we need to take it away from him completely. It's just occasionally being involved. Because even with Cunha, remember that in the Arsenal game, there was a goal kick that he did a flick against Saliba, and then he beat him all the way to the other side of the box, right? So something like that, where you drop deep occasionally to create space for other people to run in behind you. Because as we know, as United fans ourselves, it's very difficult to track midfield runners. So if he drops deep and Casemiro runs behind him, it's difficult for the other team.
But my question is then, do we have strong midfield runners?
Yeah, that's a good point. Because Casemiro is not really a strong midfield runner. Maybe Ahmad could do that from the wing back, and maybe that's what Rishi's talking about.
Right. But, I think that's the best thing to do, because what I've realized is that what happened against Arsenal was that Ahmad and Mbumo was getting in the same positions.
Yes.
So they didn't tactically understand what they should do, but we should have runners on the inside and somebody to stretch the defense on the outside so we can have more space to play on the inside. because both are very
Brian,
good dribblers.
but that's my point. That's sorry to interrupt, but that's my point. If we had strong midfield runners, then we wouldn't be sitting on 4 points from 4 games. We would be having players who are capable of executing the game plan, right?
Yeah.
That's why we were looking at a player like Baleba. So we don't
But
have those
Ederson from
anymore.
Atalanta was available though. Cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely. He was available too. I don't know why we didn't go for him. There are so many
He was one of the
important
perfect number
positions.
8s to fit the system.
I agree with you. I think we could have got Ederson, and I think Ederson alongside an Ugarte or an Ederson alongside a Bruno, or even maybe if we had sold a Bruno, Ederson, and a Mainoo would have done a decent job.
No, even I think if we would have sold Bruno, we probably had the money to go buy both Baleba and Ederson. They could be our starting midfield.
Right. True. I watched the match with Brighton the other day, and I saw Baleba playing like a 6. So I was like, I thought it was more like a 8, but he can play a 6 comfortably too.
Yeah. No, he definitely has the explosiveness. He has the legs. He has a lot of the things that Mainoo is probably missing right now. But Mainoo is, very press resistant. So I don't want to make it like Mainoo doesn't have anything. So real quick, guys, we're gonna close the call very soon. It's already been an hour and a half. What do you guys think is going to be the final position this season for United? I know Rishi, you mentioned 60 points before, and Brian, you had also mentioned like 7th position, I think. Just tell me, what is your gut saying? Give me one position, and then we'll end the call here.
If we get Elliot Anderson in January, we'll finish in European spots.
Okay. And Rishi?
I think we finished 9th.
9th. Okay. Well, that's it. Rishi and Brian have told us we're gonna finish somewhere between 6th to 9th, I guess. And honestly, I think that's a fair assessment. I can't disagree with you guys. But that's a really good call. I really appreciate everybody joining today. I think we had 10 callers, maybe even more. And it was a great discussion. We'll be back again probably on Thursday because I might be making a video tomorrow. But super great call, guys, and I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. All right. See you guys later on YouTube as well. We'll be back.